Nie Li belongs to the Heavenly Marks family, a declining aristocratic family. The head of the family is a one-star, gold-ranked demon spiritualist. Despite having an annual income of around 600,000 demon spirit coins, the family faces severe financial struggles. Just the cost of school fees for the family's children amounts to 300,000 coins, not to mention other significant expenses. To keep up, they often have to sell family businesses just to make ends meet. The Heavenly Marks family is banking on the younger generation, currently enrolled in the Holy Orchid Institute, to shine and bring them back to prominence. As the school bell rings, it signals that another day is over. Shenyue steps forward, his voice dripping with contempt. Won't show me mercy. Who do you think you are? Just because you know some inscriptions, you think you're something special? He moves closer to Nie Li, threatening, stay away from Zion from now on, or else I'll make sure you stay away. At the same time, Lu Piao shouts, Shenyue, get him! Shenyue's followers step in to block Lu Piao. One of them taunts, what do you think you're going to do, juniors? Duze observes the scene, noting, Shenyue's followers, almost all of them are bronze level. The tension builds, and it seems like a fight is inevitable. Other classmates gather to watch, whispering amongst themselves, what's happening? It looks like Shenyue and Nie Li are clashing over Goddess Ye. It's going to turn into a fight soon. Another adds, Nie Li dares to confront Shenyue. Shenyue is about to break through to bronze level. Nie Li is going to be destroyed. But Nie Li remains confident, thinking to himself, heh, even though my strength is only 38 and my soul power is just 32, it's more than enough to deal with you. He then mocks Shenyue. Who's going to help who now? Shenyue, caught off guard, gasps, ah! Nie Li challenges Shenyue. With the sacred family as your backing, you think you can act as you please? Just because you have a green soul sea, you think you're a genius? Shenyue tries to resist, but suddenly he yells, Wah! He thinks to himself, what's happening? I can't exert strength over my entire arm. His strength should only be 21. How is this possible? He grows desperate. What kind of demonic art is Nie Li using? Nie Li releases him, stepping back with a smirk. Shenyue struggles to regain his composure, panting heavily. Nie Li, still calm, says, hey, unbelievable. Shenyue, your control over your strength is like that of a prehistoric barbarian. He adds, by focusing strength to the fingertips and aiming at the joints and pressure points, you lose strength in the arm. If I wanted to, I could even cripple you. One of Shenyue's followers starts to panic, thinking, what's happening? Boss Shenyue seems to be in pain. Nie Li's cultivation technique must be stronger than ours, but we don't know how many points he has cultivated. Meanwhile, Duze notes confidently, anyway, Shenyue's at a dead end now. Nie Li leans in close to Shenyue, warning, you think Zion is someone you can casually call by name? Next time I catch you messing around. Don't blame me for disciplining you. Shenyue refuses to accept the outcome, shouting, no, this is not possible. How can I'm the genius of the sacred family. How can I lose to you? Desperation crosses his face as he screams, you forced my hand. Nie Li realizes he's going to directly use soul power to attack my soul realm. Duze, noticing Shenyue's intent, shouts, shit, Nie Li just started training his soul force 2 days ago. He won't be able to match Shenyue's soul power. Shenyue's followers prevent Duze from stepping in to help. The tension peaks as Shenyue's power begins to pulsate, creating an intense atmosphere. Nie Li analyzes the situation, thinking to himself, Shenyue's soul power must be at least twice as strong as mine. As expected of a sacred family descendant, he's probably been taking elixirs nonstop, but soul force isn't supposed to be used this way. Shenyue smirks and taunts Nie Li. Haha, with such a weak soul force, you still dare to act so arrogantly in front of me? Suddenly, a loud boom echoes as Shenyue releases his energy. Nie Li is forced to step back, but he remains composed. Shenyue thinks, he can't withstand my power. Nie Li looks back at Shenyue and with a calm expression retorts, humph, you know nothing, pierce. Nie Li focuses his energy, releasing a sharp, targeted burst of power that pierces Shenyue's attack, turning the tide. Shenyue suddenly receives a concentrated blast of energy, causing him to choke and gasp for air. His confident demeanor collapses as he struggles to catch his breath. Shenyue stands up, breathing heavily. He tries to regain control, but it's clear that Nie Li's unexpected retaliation has shaken him to his core. Nie Li releases an even greater surge of power, an overwhelming force that radiates from him, casting a shadow of doom over the area. Nie Li had encountered countless life-and-death situations in his past life, and many strong experts had met their end at his hands. During the Soul Force clash just now, Nie Li allowed the killing intent buried deep in his soul realm to flow straight into Shenyue's soul. This was a terrifying presence, one that not even Shenyue could defy. Sound effects of dripping can be heard in the tense silence. Nie Li notices Shenyue's fear and taunts. "Did you pee your pants?" He steps closer, his voice dripping with disdain. "And you still dare threaten me in this state?" Nie Li grabs Shenyue by the collar, lifting him effortlessly. "I'm too lazy to waste any more time on you." He throws Shenyue aside, commanding, "Get lost, and don't ever come near me again in the future." Nie Li grabs Shenyue and effortlessly throws him aside with a powerful whoosh. Shenyue crashes to the ground, and Nie Li shouts, "Stay away from me from now on." Shenyue's followers rush to him shouting, "Boss! Boss! Are you okay?" One of them notices, "Boss, your pants. They're wet." Shenyue weakly demands, "Take me away quickly." Nearby, Lu Piao can't help but laugh. "Ha ha, young Master Shen still pees his pants at this age." He continues to chuckle at Shenyue's expense. Shenyue's followers try to help him stand, asking, "Are you all right, boss?" Meanwhile, onlookers murmur in shock. Shenyue was thrown out by Nie Li, but Shenyue is almost a 1-star bronze rank. Another student laughs. "I thought Shenyue would teach Nie Li a lesson, but look at him now." Someone else adds, "Did you notice? Shenyue wet his pants. That's a sign that his soul force has been broken." They also remember, isn't Nie Li the one who made a bet with the instructor? If he reaches 1-star bronze rank in 2 months, the instructor would resign. And from the looks of it, Nie Li's soul force might already be stronger than Shenyue's. Lu Piao is ecstatic. Ha! He finally got what he deserved. Nie Li laughs too as Duze pats him on the shoulder. "Not bad, Nie Li. I thought you didn't stand a chance against him." Wei Nan chimes in. "Shenyue definitely won't dare to act so arrogant anymore." Nie Li nods. "All right, you guys go ahead. I need to leave. It's getting dark." Later that night at the training field. Nie Li arrives at the training field, stepping towards Xiao Ninger, who's waiting for him. She greets him. "Oh, I thought you wouldn't show up." Nie Li smiles. "How could I not? I'm a man of my word. No matter what happens, I promise to help you treat your injury first." Xiao Ninger thanks him sincerely. "Thank you." Nie Li looks at her leg, assessing her condition. "The bruising color is much lighter now," he observes. Xiao Ninger nods. "Yes, and I've even slept well these past couple of days." Nie Li pauses for a moment before speaking. "There's something I'd like to ask for your help with. I'm not sure if you'll agree." Xiao Ninger responds without hesitation. "Anything is fine, as long as I'm able to do it." Nie Li hands her a small bag of coins. "I have 10,000 demon spirit coins here. I need you to send people to all the pharmacies and acquire as much purple mist grass as possible." Xiao Ninger looks puzzled. "Purple mist grass? You know 1 demon spirit coin can get you a lot of it. How much do you need?" Nie Li replies, "The more the better. I want however much is available on the market." She thinks for a moment, wondering, purple mist grass isn't used for anything else besides insect-repelling incense. What could Nie Li possibly be planning? After a moment of thought, she nods. "All right, leave it to me. I'll pay for it. 10,000 demon spirit coins isn't much to me anyway, so just keep your money for now." Nie Li nods gratefully, but insists, "Sure, but I want you to buy as much as possible. You pay for it first, and I'll return the money with double the interest." Xiao Ninger protests. "No, no, no. This little amount isn't much to me." Nie Li sits down and looks at her seriously. "Tens of thousands might not be a lot to you, but it is to us. Besides, I'm a man. If I have the capacity to borrow but not the capacity to return, I'd be a laughingstock." He pauses, adding, "And also, it's time to treat the other injury now." At the Holy Orchid Institute, inside the instructor's office, Shen Shu was furious as she questioned Shen Yu. "You were thrown out of the library by Nie Li? Your strength is already at 63, plus your soul force is at 78. Don't tell me that Nie Li is still stronger than you." Shen Yu, embarrassed, tried to explain. Aunt, that fellow Nie Li knows demonic arts. The moment he grabbed my wrist, my arm lost all its strength. Although my soul force is much stronger than his, once I came into contact with his, mine collapsed. Shen Yue clenched his fists in frustration, thinking, this is infuriating. To make me suffer this much humiliation. Nie Li, I'll get you for this. Shen Shu frowned, asking, what are his strength and soul force currently? Shen Yue hesitated before answering. His strength is at most 30, and his soul force is maybe around 10. Shen Shu scoffed. Trash! How could you lose to that? After a moment of contemplation, Shen Shu said, it's possible that Nie Li has good control over his strength and soul force. Some people possess weak soul force, but have talent in control. You're still young and have yet to learn the proper way to use your soul force. That's why he could overpower you even though he was weaker. She added with a smirk, however, achieving bronze rank 1 star within 2 months won't be so simple for him. Shen Yue nodded, thinking, this fellow better quit school quickly and stay far away. Who does he think he is to stand a chance with Ye Ziyun? Later, Nie Li met Xiao Ninger for her treatment. Noticing her pink attire, he thought, pink, huh? That's a maiden's color. He asked, did you take your medicine on time in the last few days? Xiao Ninger smiled and nodded. Yes, and after I went back to practice the technique you amended for me, I could feel my soul force getting stronger. Nie Li responded with an impressed tone. Ooh! Xiao Ninger looked at him sincerely. I think the real genius here is you, Nie Li. When the day comes for you to reveal your talent, you will definitely shine brightly. Nie Li smiled in appreciation. Thank you. Meanwhile, in the Sacred Family's conference hall, Deacon Elder Shen Ming was enraged. A mere brat from the Fighter's Apprentice class dares to challenge us, the Sacred Family? He slammed his fist down. Nie Li. When he exposed the origins of the Scarlet Flame explosion inscription, I had to go to great lengths to mitigate the damage among the major families. And now he's beaten up our descendant. What's more, there are rumors of a VIP favoring him, so we can't carelessly cause trouble for him. A servant hesitantly said, isn't young Master Shen Yu about to reach bronze rank 1 star? How is he not a match for Nie Li? Shen Ming sneered. How strong can a student from the Fighter's Apprentice class be? What demonic art? It's just an excuse for Shen Yu's lack of skill. The servant asked cautiously, Deacon Elder, should we report these matters to the household head? Shen Ming shook his head. That won't be necessary. The head is currently focused on breaking through to the legend demon spiritualist rank. Such trivial matters shouldn't concern him. Have you conducted an in-depth investigation on Nie Li's family background? The servant nodded. We have. He's from the Heavenly Marks family. Shen Ming scoffed. The Heavenly Marks family? An ordinary noble family dares to provoke us at our peak? Nie Li is just a clueless 10-year-old who stumbled upon the origin of the Scarlet Flame explosion inscription and couldn't wait to show off. It would make us look petty if we went out of our way to cause trouble for the Heavenly Marks family. Shen Ming thought for a moment and then said, about Nie Li, let young Master Shen Fei take care of him. School fights between kids are normal. The servant bowed. Understood. Shen Ming added, oh, and make sure Shen Fei waits until the matter has blown over before acting. We don't want him to become a topic of gossip. Ye Ziyun held the inscription in her hand, pondering, where exactly did Nie Li find this inscription? Just then, Aunt Shui entered the room calling out, Miss Ziyun. Ye Ziyun turned, greeting her warmly, Aunt Shui. Aunt Shui looked at her quizzically. Were you looking for me? Ye Ziyun handed the inscription to Aunt Shui. Aunt Shui, you're an inscription master, right? Do you know the origin of this inscription? Aunt Shui studied it carefully. This is similar to Icewind Blizzard, but it seems to be stronger. I've never seen this exact form before, she admitted, admiring the balanced ratio and structure. Which master's calligraphy is this? I must admit defeat. Could it be that you met an inscription master? Ye Ziyun was left surprised, thinking, could it really be that Nie Li is on par with an inscription master? Later, Xiao Ninger approached Nie Li, concerned. By the way, Nie Li, since you offended the Sacred Family, you must be very careful. She grabbed his arm, speaking earnestly. The Sacred Family is despicable and shameless. The reason our winged dragon family fell into decline was also due to a trap they set, causing us to lose over 80% of our property to them. Now, we have no choice but to rely on them to survive. Nie Li nodded, reassuring her, I've already thought about it. Don't worry, the sacred family cares a lot about their reputation. I reckon they won't make any moves in the short term. In his thoughts, Nie Li added, although, when they do come, I'll have some countermeasures ready. He then said aloud, after you go home, get an unused soul crystal, and I'll conduct an attribute test for you. He thought to himself, Xiao Ninger is a trustworthy partner, and her innate ability is impressive. I should teach her some powerful techniques. Xiao Ninger smiled, revealing 3 soul crystals. I have 3 unused soul crystals with me right now. Nie Li's eyes widened. You have them now? That's great. No need to hand it over. Just pour your soul force into it. Xiao Ninger nodded. All right, I'll begin. As she activated the crystal, a bright light filled the space. Nie Li shielded his eyes. Whoa, it's so bright! Nie Li examined the glowing crystal. Your soul force is at 83. The attribute is wind lightning and the soul form is winged dragon. Xiao Ninger looked puzzled. Soul form? Wind lightning type? Winged dragon form? What does all that mean? Nie Li smiled, explaining, simply put, the most suitable techniques for you are wind lightning techniques. In his thoughts, he recalled, no wonder she recovered so quickly in my past life after contracting the extreme coldness. The winged dragon form is an extremely rare, ultimate innate ability. With that form, her training speed will be incredibly fast, especially if the technique matches her attribute. He continued, let me think. Wind lightning type, winged dragon form. Ah, right. In my past life, I found a technique in some ruins that would be perfect for her. He then said aloud, I have a wind lightning type cultivation technique. I'll pass it to you. It'll be much stronger than your previous technique. In his mind, he couldn't help but think, if only I had the winged dragon form myself. Xiao Ninger concentrated, memorizing the technique that Nie Li shared. She thought, if I redirect my soul force according to this formula, it feels so strong. Nie Li smiled, saying, this is the wind lightning winged dragon technique. It's the most suitable one for you. Xiao Ninger felt a surge of emotions. I'm really grateful, Nie Li. First, you treated my injuries, and now you've given me such a powerful technique. I really don't know how to repay you. Nie Li waved it off with a laugh. We're all friends. Helping each other is what friends do. Don't overthink it. Just focus on your training. He observed the glowing light surrounding her and commented, wow, this green light? Your soul force is already close to 100. That's so fast. Nie Li watched Xiao Ninger for a moment, thinking, Xiao Ninger probably won't have to suffer so much in this life anymore. Xiao Ninger slowly opened her eyes, feeling a surge in her soul force. She realized she was about to break through to the next level. When she looked around, she noticed that Nie Li was already gone, leaving her alone with her thoughts. She stood up quietly, thinking, Nie Li? Servants from various households panted as they tried to gather supplies. At one of the herb stores, a seller looked puzzled as he said, Purple mist grass? I guess you're also from the winged dragon family. Someone from your family already came and bought all the purple mist grass. The servant nodded, determined. We need the ones in your herb garden too. Milady ordered us to buy everything available. Another servant muttered, Our household barely needs a few kilos of purple mist grass. But who cares? Lately, Milady has improved leaps and bounds, and now the entire family is focused on her success. The patriarch even ordered that money and resources shouldn't be an issue for her. Xiao Ninger approached Nie Li, holding multiple bags filled with herbs. Nie Li, she called. Nie Li looked up, wiping sweat from his brow. Well, it only took a few days to settle the matter. Your servants are really efficient. Xiao Ninger nodded, showing him the gathered herbs. Here is all the collected purple mist grass, which is about hundreds of thousands of kilos. Nie Li nearly choked. A few 100,000? Xiao Ninger smiled. Don't worry about it. Compared to the winged dragon technique, this small amount of money is insignificant. That afternoon, Lu Piao was curious. What has Nie Li been writing all this time, muttering to himself constantly? Du Zhe shook his head. Let's not bother him. Instead, let's study some inscriptions and battle tactics. If we want to reach high cultivation levels, we need profound knowledge first. Lu Piao shrugged, half listening, while Wei Nan nodded in agreement. Duze frowned slightly. Lu Piao's carefree attitude always got to him a little. A crowd gathered, whispering in excitement. "Look!" someone exclaimed. "That's Chen Linjin from the Divine Family. He's already bronze rank 5-star at just 15 years old." Chen Linjin stood confidently, clad in armor. "This armor is called the Flaming Dark Armor," he announced to the crowd. "You can't buy it for anything less than 100,000 demon spirit coins. Equipping this makes you impervious to anyone below silver rank." The crowd swooned. "So handsome," murmured a girl among them. Chen Linjun smirked, tossing his shirt aside, revealing his muscled frame. He held out 6 stalks of herbs. "For you," he said, throwing them to a servant. "These are 6 stalks of 5-year-old holy dark grass. Only my family has them. Serve me well, and there will be no shortage of benefits for you." Lu Piao watched from a distance, thinking, 1 stalk is worth 50,000 demon spirit coins? 6 stalks make 300,000. The crowd quickly pledged their loyalty. "We will follow young Master Chen." "Fight on, young Master Chen." One follower asked skeptically, "Who are you guys?" While others shouted, "We will all follow you." Chen Linjun looked around, counting silently. 19, 20. I still need to find more people. Lu Piao whispered to his friends, if we had the holy dark grass, Duzi would definitely be able to break through to bronze rank 1-star. Nie Li watched from afar, deep in thought. "Young Master Chen Linjun," he recalled. "In my previous life, right around this time, he found the entrance to the ruins of the ancient Orchid City and brought back a treasure trove. If I remember correctly, Ye Ziyun mentioned before that Shen Yue, who went along, obtained that treasure and sold it for 1 million demon spirit coins in the end." Nie Li's eyes narrowed, determined. The money wasn't what mattered, but that item had incredible value. I must obtain it this time. He stepped out from the crowd, raising his hand high. "Hi, I'd like to join your expedition. Not sure if young Master Chen is willing?" Chen Linjun turned, looking at Nie Li with curiosity. A follower stepped forward, dismissive. "Brat, have you reached bronze rank? Don't just come here to join the crowd." Chen Linjun signaled the follower to stop and looked Nie Li up and down. "Hold on. You tell me you wish to join us, but do you even know what we're planning to do?" Chen Linjun, a direct descendant of the Divine Family, one of the 3 sovereign families. "In my previous life, we weren't close, but I've heard stories of him. He almost reached black gold rank as a demon spiritualist, which was an impressive feat among the noble disciples. I recall that during the final battle of Glory City, Chen Linjian rushed to the broken West Gate and beheaded 6 deserters from the sacred family without hesitation. He's someone who knows how to uphold his principles." Nie Li, standing confidently, said, "I know. You guys are planning to explore the ancient Orchid City ruins, right?" Chen Linjian looked shocked. "How could you know? I didn't tell anyone outside my party, not even my family." Nie Li laughed. "Don't show that angry face. I recently heard rumors that the remains of the ancient Orchid City were found near Glory City. Strong parties have already gone to explore it. Seeing you forming a party, I could make a reasonable guess." Chen Linjian's curiosity piqued, and he asked, "Interesting. What's your name?" Nie Li. Chen Linjian laughed. "Oh, Nie Li, you're the guy who discovered the origin of the Scarlet Flame Explosion inscription, right? The one who damaged the sacred family's reputation." "Ha ha!" Chen Linjian then asked, "I heard you've read all sorts of classics?" Nie Li nodded modestly. "Yes." The surrounding crowd laughed. "Ha ha! You dare reply with yes?" Another added, "This brat, how many days has he even been in school? Capable of reading all those books?" Nie Li responded calmly, "Can't say I've read a lot, but definitely more than some of the people present here." "Stinky brat, what did you say?" Chen Linjian interrupted with a grin. "Since you've read so many books, do you know which era the ancient Orchid City ruins belong to?" Nie Li began to explain. Based on the information available, most of the buildings in the ancient Orchid City were constructed with stone bricks and had conical roofs. The city's layout runs in an east-west, north-south pattern, characteristic of the Snow Wind and Sacred Empire eras. Additionally, I've heard of a large lotus mural found there, representing stability and prosperity. This mural style was popular during the late Sacred Empire era. Combining all these clues, I conclude that the ancient Orchid City belonged to a time between the late Sacred Empire and the Age of Darkness. People whispered, "What does that mean?" While another added, "I don't understand, but it sure sounds impressive." Chen Linjian looked impressed. "Good," he said. "Follow me, and I'll provide you with training and learning materials. How about it?" Nie Li thought to himself, "Does he want me to be his underling? What a joke." Out loud, he said, "In this collaboration, each will take what they need. If there's treasure, I want to pick one item first. If that's not acceptable, I'll go on my own." "Brat, choose one item first. Don't get too arrogant," someone shouted. Nie Li replied confidently, "I guarantee that as long as you bring me along, there will be rewards." Chen Linjian hesitated, but his curiosity got the better of him. Nie Li shows great confidence. Could it be that he has a complete treasure map? He thought to himself. After all, Chen Linjian's map was incomplete. "All right, you have a deal," Chen Linjian finally said. "But remember, if you're willing to follow me, there won't be a lack of benefits." Nie Li nodded. "Hope our collaboration goes well." Chen Linjian turned to his group. "We'll meet here in 3 days at dawn." "Understood," they responded in unison. Later that afternoon, at the Alchemist Association, a woman sighed deeply. "The Alchemist Association is getting worse by the day," she lamented. Yang Xin, 25 years old, gold-ranked demon spiritualist, and the Alchemist Association's director, was visibly frustrated. Yang Xin stared at the papers in front of her. "What is all this?" she mumbled. "If we don't reduce the cost of elixirs or raise their efficiency, no youngsters will want to become alchemists in the future. Let's see if there are any valuable alchemy reviews in today's letters." Suddenly, something caught her eye. "Huh? There's so much writing on this. What is this?" she exclaimed, her interest piqued. Yang Xin was examining a letter and couldn't help but be amused. "Discussion on the uses of purple mistgrass," she read aloud. It was an intriguing piece on how to use purple mistgrass in refining soul-assembling pills or spiritual-enhancing pills. According to the letter, mixing it could increase the medicinal effects by 3 times. It even suggested that by using purple mistgrass with dictamni mulberry and fructus during a bath, one could nourish their soul force. "No wonder someone has been buying up all the purple mistgrass these last few days," she laughed. "Trying to raise its price, are they? This person has to come up with something more realistic." Still, her curiosity was piqued. She scanned through the document, noting over 60 different uses for the herb, which was typically used just as an insect repellent. If these claims were true, it could be of great help for the development of alchemists. "There's no harm in trying it out," she thought. "Who knows, some of these effects might actually be real." Yang Xin threw the paper aside and called out, "Yonggang, bring me 2.5 kilograms of purple mistgrass." Yonggang quickly responded, "Director, we only have 1.5 kilograms of purple mistgrass left." "I know," she replied, thinking to herself, "How much purple mistgrass has the other party stockpiled?" She continued reflecting on the formula for soul-assembling pills and spiritual-enhancing pills. They had been passed down in Glory City for hundreds of years and were thought to be perfected. For someone to attempt to alter such a time-honored formula, they would have to bear not just the costs, but also the risks of failure. And yet, whoever was behind this had hoarded large quantities of purple mistgrass without hesitation. Yonggang couldn't help but admire Yangxin's fire control during the refining process. "She deserves to be the director. Her control of fire is so stable," he thought. He vowed to work harder to learn from her. After 2 hours of refining, something unusual started to happen. Yangxin noticed something surprising in the results. "Yonggang, there's an additional 50% yield compared to normal," she announced. Yonggang was excited. "Yeah, with an increased success rate in refining these elixirs, the production costs would go down, and the popularity of soul-assembling pills and spiritual-enhancing pills would soar." "Try one," Yangxin urged. "It's very expensive." Yonggang looked a little hesitant but took the pill. Young Gang sat down, took a deep breath, and swallowed the pill. Yangshin watched him closely. "How does it feel?" she asked. Young Gang seemed to be in shock as he was circulating his soul force. "Director, it feels even more effective than a high-grade soul assembling pill," he exclaimed. Yangshin was delighted. "Since it's actually real, let's test some other uses of purple mist grass." Yangshin quickly searched through her materials and decided, "Bring this sheet to everyone and have them copy it. Tell them I have verified the first use." "Understood," Yonggang responded enthusiastically. He knew what verifying even just one use of purple mist grass meant for Glory City and the Alchemist Association. It could change everything. After sending Yonggang off, Yangshin turned her focus to the next step. "Next is a bath," she murmured, eager to verify even more of the claims. After 2 hours of testing, Yangshin sat in amazement. "This is simply unbelievable," she whispered. The next day, the training continued for Nie Li and his friends. After climbing the mountain, Lu Piao complained, "After climbing the mountain, we still run with weights. I'm dead beat." Duze wasn't having it. "We're all carrying 25 kilograms. Your physique is the best and you're only carrying 15 kilograms, yet you still dare to complain." Nie Li laughed. "All right, let's end morning practice here. But remember, now that we're practicing top-grade techniques, we must properly train our bodies. If we can't keep up with our soul force, our bodies might explode." Lu Piao was stunned by that thought. After their training, Lu Piao panted heavily, catching his breath. Suddenly, a physician approached them. "How do you do, little friends?" he greeted. "I'm from the Alchemist Association." Nie Li raised an eyebrow, thinking to himself, "Being called little friend by someone younger than me sure feels strange." The physician looked at their attires and assumed, "You all must be from farming families, right? Do you have any purple mist grass at home? We're now offering 30 demon spirit coins per pound." Lu Piao and Duze glanced at each other, remembering the purple mist grass Nie Li had stockpiled. Nie Li asked, "Uncle, what are you planning to do with purple mist grass? I recall it being very cheap." The physician chuckled. "I'll let you in on a secret. Yesterday, we received a letter listing over 60 uses for purple mist grass. Under Director Yang's instructions, we conducted experiments, and the results were incredible. Everything was valid." The physician continued with enthusiasm. "The most amazing part is that purple mist grass has a skin-nourishing effect. Yesterday, Director Yang only soaked in a bath once, and she looks several years younger. Simply beautiful. Now, lady nobles are buying purple mist grass like crazy." Lu Piao, still stunned by what he heard, muttered to Nie Li, "Didn't you have tons of purple mist grass?" Nie Li replied calmly, "Oh, I see. But we're students of the St. Orchid Institute, so we don't have any purple mist grass." The physician left, and as he walked away, he humorously advised Nie Li, "Your face would look longer if you kept growing that beard." Nie Li and his friends couldn't help but smile. After the physician left, Duze questioned Nie Li, "Just now, that guy made such a high offer. Why didn't you sell it to him?" Nie Li explained, "It's not time to make a move yet. Let them do more promoting for us first. I'm thinking." Suddenly, someone shouted, "Madness! Madness! Miss Ninger, great news!" Xiao Ninger looked concerned. "What's wrong?" The messenger panted, catching his breath. "Didn't you previously make us buy a lot of purple mist grass? Currently, the market price of purple mist grass has gone up to tens or even hundreds of demon spirit coins per pound. I even heard rumors that the Sacred family is offering 300 demon spirit coins per 100 pounds. Xiao Ninger was surprised, thinking to herself, "It must be Nie Li. What exactly did he do?" Nie Li and Lu Piao couldn't help but laugh in excitement. "Hey, hey, hey, hey!" Duze joined in. "Wow, wow, wow!" Nie Li announced proudly. "Today we sold 10,000 pounds of purple mist grass to Bao Chi Lin Pharmacy. The buyers were mostly nobles' wives, and it brought in over 3 million demon spirit coins." Lu Piao was still shocked. "Absorption? What absorption?" Nie Li clarified. "But the market's absorption rate is limited, so we can't always sell at this price. I'll slowly release the stock. This is only the beginning of my plans." Nie Li handed out soul-assembling pills to his friends, saying, "These are high-grade soul-assembling pills I just acquired. Each of you gets 10 pills. Take them quickly and start practicing." Lu Piao's eyes widened. Each of these pills costs over 6,000 demon spirit coins. We're rich now. He grinned mischievously. Heh. Good. Nie Li responded. Let's get started. As they began practicing, Nie Li thought to himself, normally, people can only absorb about 10% of the soul-assembling pill's effects. But with my heavenly god techniques, I should be able to absorb it all. He swallowed one of the pills, feeling the elixir's effect almost immediately. The elixir's effect is so strong, he exclaimed. Nie Li could feel his power growing. My soul force has increased by 50%. Suddenly, Duze felt a surge of energy. I achieved bronze rank, he shouted in excitement, the impact of his breakthrough resonating throughout the room. Duze was elated. I broke through to bronze rank 1 in just a few days. This is amazing. Thank you so much, Nie Li. 2 hours later, Lu Piao could barely contain his joy. This time, I won't get beaten by my old man for being lazy. Aha! He paused, reminiscing. Shen Yue's gang usually goes around bullying others because of their good family background and talent. He definitely won't expect the people he used to call trash to reach bronze rank earlier than him. Lu Piao couldn't help but grin at the thought. Haha, I can't wait to see the look on their faces at the test in 2 months. He laughed again. Nie Li smiled but reminded them, the heavenly god techniques I'm practicing are much slower compared to yours. He looked around. You guys continue practicing. I'll take a spin downstairs. He pushed open the door and began walking, looking thoughtful. Nie Li wandered around, his eyes scanning the area. Not here today either. He sighed, thinking to himself, seems like she's really angry. Let's meet here tomorrow as well. See you then? The story then takes a step back to a few days prior, when Xiaoninger began helping Nie Li purchase the purple mist grass. It was the evening when Nie Li and Yeziun arranged to meet. Nie Li approached and greeted Yeziun. Hi, we meet again. Onlookers noticed, whispering among themselves, Miss Yeziun seems to have specifically waited for him. Are they on a date? Shen Yue couldn't help but think, how can Nie Li be compared to me in terms of talent and background? And Yeziun, why is she paying attention to him? One of Shen Yue's followers spoke up. Boss, should we go mess with that guy? Another follower nodded in agreement. That brat, we even suffered losses to him yesterday, and boss, even your pants got one. Don't mention it. Shen Yue interrupted, embarrassed. He clenched his fist, thinking this brat is tricky, but we'll find a chance to teach him a lesson. Make him suffer internal injuries without leaving any trace, so no one can connect it to us, especially Yeziun, and make sure it won't affect the sacred family's reputation. The next day, Yeziun met Nie Li. Yesterday, we tested the inscription pattern, and it turned out to be a complete version of the icy wind, sudden snow inscription. It's actually a silver grade inscription, she said, clearly impressed. Nie Li responded casually, yes, it is. She observed how calm he seemed, as if creating silver grade inscriptions was just an everyday thing. Yeziun couldn't help but think, Nie Li possesses such profound knowledge yet keeps such a low profile in class. Compared to him, I realize now how arrogant I've been without knowing it. She sighed internally. Compared to Nie Li, I really have nothing to show. Yeziun then handed Nie Li something. Right, this is the soul crystal you told me to bring. Nie Li instructed her, inject your soul force into the soul crystal. She nodded, and began. As she infused her soul force into the crystal, Nie Li gasped. Blizzard categories white light. He continued, this is one of the legendary most powerful soul forms, the Ice Phoenix soul shape. Once achieving the Black Gold realm, the Ice Phoenix evolves, and cultivation advances by leaps and bounds. He thought to himself, in my previous life, Yeziun reached the Black Gold realm much earlier. Nie Li explained to Yeziun, your soul form is the Blizzard Phoenix. I'll teach you a cultivation technique suitable for it. A cultivation technique? Yeziun asked in surprise. What kind of technique is it? She thought, I'm currently practicing our family's most powerful technique. Is there one even stronger than that? Nie Li revealed, it's the 9 revolving Ice Phoenix technique. He began to teach her the chants. This technique, once successfully cultivated, grants 9 lives. As long as the soul is not destroyed, you'll always be able to revive. I'll never let you leave me. As she absorbed the information, Yeziyun realized, this technique is far stronger than anything I've practiced before. She hesitated, then spoke up. You're giving me such a precious technique just like that. Nie Li waved it off. Ah, it's nothing much. Yeziyun smiled softly. KK, thank you very much. Meanwhile, from a distance, Shenyue was watching them, his face filled with rage. Shenyue walked over to them, interrupting. Ziyun, he called out, lifting his chin arrogantly as he sat next to Yeziyun. Yo, Nie Li, what a coincidence, you're here too? We meet again. Nie Li looked at Shenyue. What's up with that dark expression? Wasn't yesterday fun? Shenyue clenched his teeth. You. He composed himself quickly and put on a fake smile. My family and Ziyun's family are old friends. We've played together since we were kids, and even the elders are supportive of our relationship. We understand each other really well. We even know each other's preferences and lifestyle habits. Yeziyun was taken aback, thinking, since when did we get so familiar with each other? Yeziyun looked at Nie Li and quickly said, that? She didn't want Nie Li to misunderstand. Nie Li looked at Shenyue with a sly smile. Really, I'm interested to know what you understand about her. Shenyue confidently replied, Ziyun likes to eat akampe rigida, likes reading, and likes to stare out of the window while daydreaming. Am I right, Ziyun? She responded with a hesitant, yes. Nie Li interrupted Shenyue's boast. Actually, Yeziyun doesn't like to eat akampe rigida. Lord Mo lied to her, saying that eating akampe rigida could increase one's soul force. As for reading, she doesn't enjoy those dry, difficult books. What she really loves is adventure, and she longs for the outside world. That's why she dazes while looking out the window. Shenyue immediately snapped back. What nonsense are you spouting? Nie Li didn't back down. Nonsense, huh? You say you understand Yeziyun so well. Then tell me, Shenyue, do you know where Yeziyun's butterfly birthmark is? Shenyue was stunned. How would I know that? Yeziyun's eyes widened. Nie Li? Yeziyun glared at Nie Li, her face flushed with embarrassment. You rogue, she shouted. Nie Li quickly ran off, thinking, is she really that angry? Shenyue, seething with rage, muttered under his breath, Nie Li, remember this. I will definitely make you pay for this. Nie Li, still smirking, called back, Yeah, I'll make you pay. Heard it all before. Nie Li taunted as he left. You'd better learn to watch your step, Shenyue. Meanwhile, Shenyue fumed, thinking, detestable. There's definitely something between Nie Li and Yeziyun, some kind of clandestine relationship. His anger only deepened as he recalled the humiliation. At the city lord's mansion, Yeziyun was fuming as well. Nie Li, you jerk, she yelled in frustration. How does Nie Li know so much about me? She wondered. Could he have been spying on me in secret? She paused, remembering. He even knows about the butterfly birthmark on my chest. Does that mean he's seen every part of my body? Her face reddened, and she quickly shook her head. No, it's not possible. The city lord's mansion is heavily guarded. He couldn't have come in? Could he? And then there was the 9 revolving ice phoenix technique. Why did he willingly teach me such a powerful technique? She pondered. Yeziyun took a deep breath, telling herself, I'd better spend time practicing and stop thinking about it. Focus. Later, as she practiced, Yeziyun felt the technique's power surging through her. She had broken through. The 9 revolving ice phoenix technique is far more powerful than I imagined, she thought, feeling the overwhelming energy within her. The value of this technique, it was unmeasurable. She couldn't help but think of Nie Li. No way, he's unforgivable. Returning to the present, Nie Li sighed to himself. I wonder when she'll get over being mad at me. It's so troublesome. Nie Li says, this type is too heavy. He looks at the bronze armor and comments, this isn't bad. Then he turns to the boss and says, I'll take the Ragefire armor set and also get me the Wrath of Inflammation sword. The boss, a bit confused, thinks, what the hell? This is a boy. He says aloud, this Yoling Master. This armor is sold as a set of 4, costing 500k Demon Spirit coins. The Wrath of Inflammation sword costs another 200k. Young Master, are you sure you want to buy all this? Nie Li confidently replies, Of course. Do you think I'm joking with you? I'll pay you 700k first. The boss nods. Okay, I'll wrap it up for Young Master immediately. He explains, this armor set is at the pinnacle of bronze level, made from the scales of a Ragefire demon beast. Bronze-ranked demon beasts won't be able to break the armor, and even silver-ranked demon beasts' attacks won't get through. Nie Li cuts him off. I know. Just show me some bronze rank inscriptions. And he adds, also get me a 5 cubic meter space interspatial ring. The boss nods and says, okay, young master. Nie Li thinks to himself, I can't keep using Xiaoning Ers, and then adds, I want that set of armor too. Show me that. The boss agrees. Aye. Nie Li turns to the boss. Boss, lend me your back room. The boss chuckles. Heh, go ahead. Nie Li thinks to himself, I'll wear the Ragefire armor immediately. As he rustles through the armor, he says, this way, bronze-ranked beasts won't be a threat. He gives it a test. Not bad. I was worried the Ragefire armor would be bulky, but it actually fits quite well. The boss says, young master, take your time. Nie Li thinks, it's time to return the ring and money to Xiaoning Er. He heads off to the classroom, but a figure sneaks up behind Nie Li, notices, someone's tailing me. He turns sharply and Shenyu appears, shouting, Brat, I finally cornered you. Nie Li stands his ground. What do you want to do? Shenyu sneers, do you know what fear is? Aren't you arrogant usually, you noble family's trash? He motions to his followers. Beat him up. 6 bronze-ranked fighters surround Nie Li, with their leader glaring and taunting him. Let's see how you manage without your usual tricks. Give him a beating he won't forget. One of the fighters steps forward, fists ready, but Nie Li swiftly dodges to the side, avoiding the attack with surprising agility. Nie Li shouts back, don't come any closer, I'll retaliate. One of the attackers scoffs, if possible, then try it. They all close in, and someone yells, go! Nie Li steels himself, knowing he's in for a fight. One of the fighters lands a kick on Nie Li, causing him to stumble back. But Nie Li quickly regains his balance, determined not to back down. Nie Li narrowly avoids another kick, causing one attacker to accidentally kick another. The group stumbles, one coughing and another hiccuping in surprise. Shenyu scowls and shouts, what's going on? You can't even handle a boy who hasn't reached bronze rank. All of you, get him together! The attackers regroup, circling Nie Li, preparing to strike again. Nie Li quickly thinks of a plan and shouts at the top of his lungs, murder! The sacred family is going to murder me! Nie Li shouts at the top of his lungs, murder! The sacred family is trying to kill me! His voice echoes, drawing attention from anyone nearby. People in the crowd begin to murmur, is the sacred family really killing someone? Let's go take a look. Shenyu, visibly annoyed, thinks, so annoying. He's attracting a crowd. He yells to his men, quickly, shut this kid's mouth. But Nie Li only gets louder, shouting, the sacred family is committing murder. One of Shenyu's followers mutters, this guy outsmarted us. Nie Li continues to lie on the ground, shouting louder, murder! Murder! Sacred family murder! He twists and dodges, making it difficult to grab him, and one person in the crowd comments, how is he slipping away like a loach? Finally, one of Shenyu's men grabs Nie Li, while another seizes the opportunity to strike him. A series of strikes land as Nie Li's voice rings out, help! The sacred family is attacking me! Shenyu grits his teeth, shouting angrily, this troublemaker, keep going until he can't escape. Meanwhile, Nie Li continues to shout, save me! People in the crowd begin to recognize him. That's Nie Li. It looks like he's in trouble. Some of the crowd begin to murmur, what does he mean by the sacred family is committing murder? Is that Shenyu standing over there? Someone else recalls, Nie Li offended the sacred family recently. He exposed that the Scarlet Sunburst inscription pattern was plagiarized by the sacred family. The conversation heats up. So they're actually trying to kill him in school? The sacred family would go so far as to send people to assassinate him? Others in the crowd start discussing, what are we all looking at? Hurry, go report this to the principal. Meanwhile, one of Shenyu's followers punches Nie Li, muttering in frustration, this kid, so tough. Nie Li suddenly leaps out, continuing to shout, murder! Help! The sacred family is trying to harm me. His cries of help echo loudly. He catches one of Shenyue's men off guard, landing a punch as he yells, "Help! Ah, ah!" One of the attackers stumbles back, groaning in pain, while Nie Li keeps shouting, "Help!" One of Shenyue's men shouts in pain, "Ouch! Ouch! Ouch!" trying to dodge as Nie Li evades another strike, shouting, "Crash! Woo! Wah! Looks like you missed and fell." Shenyue, frustrated, yells at his men, "You bunch of fools! Do you even eat properly?" As Shenyue realizes that more people are gathering around, his frustration grows. The crowd begins to murmur, discussing what's happening, while Nie Li continues shouting, "Help! Murder!" His cries draw even more attention, and people whisper and gossip amongst themselves. Finally, Shenyue, unable to take it any longer, shouts angrily, "Enough! Knock him out!" His followers, struggling to keep up, shout back, "Knock him out! Ah, but our hands are killing us!" Nie Li continues to dodge their attacks, all the while shouting, "The sacred family is committing murder! La ah 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 ah! Help!" His voice rings out as he keeps dodging, making it impossible for them to land a proper hit. In the chaos, someone shouts, "What are you doing? Stop this!" Suddenly, Xiaoninger steps forward, calling out, "Shenyue, this is too much!" Ye Ziyun appears beside her, glaring, "Shenyue, I didn't think you'd stoop to this." Xiaoninger and Ye Ziyun stand together, shielding Nie Li from Shenyue's men, taking a stand to protect him. Both Xiaoninger and Ye Ziyun turn to Nie Li, asking in unison, "Nie Li, are you all right?" They exchange a shy look after speaking together, each a bit embarrassed. Nie Li reassures them, "I'm fine." With dirt smeared on his face, Nie Li gives a small smile. Ye Ziyun, a little annoyed by his antics, frowns at him. Shenyue tries to salvage the situation, pleading, "Ziyun, you misunderstood. Please, just let me explain." Nie Li chuckles to himself. Heh. Shenyue finally realizes what's happened, muttering, "So that's how it is. This guy deliberately lured me here. It's all his dirty trick." The crowd around them murmurs in shock, piecing together the truth. Xiaoninger speaks up, looking at Shenyue with disbelief. "Shenyue, who do you think you're fooling? Isn't your excuse a little too ridiculous?" Nie Li stands tall, speaking out with determination. "Yes, I've crossed the sacred family. But isn't this too much? Trying to harm someone on school grounds? What do you think this Holy Orchid Institute is? My family may not be as powerful as yours, but I'm not at your mercy. I'd like to see just how far your sacred family will go. I, Nie Li, take pride in who I am, and unless you kill me, you'll never break my spirit. It's not going to happen." Shenyue is left speechless, stunned by Nie Li's defiance. Ye Ziyun, moved, whispers, "Nie Li, he's really amazing." Xiaoninger, with admiration in her eyes, thinks to herself, "Nie Li has such backbone. The sacred family has always been vile and repulsive. I, too, won't yield to them." Suddenly, Lu Piao pushes through the crowd, calling, excuse me, Nie Li, are you all right?" Duze steps forward, pointing at Shenyue. "Shenyue, you're despicable. 7 against 1? Changming and others in the crowd shout out, "Yeah, shameless. It's too much." "No sense of honor." Shenyue says, "Actually, I didn't even do anything to him. He's so lively and able to shout." The crowd discusses angrily, and Lu Piao shakes his head, then nods to Duze, saying, "Still denying? Why don't we let you take a beating and see how lively you are?" Lu Piao steps forward, calling out to Shenyue, "You dare swear that you didn't get your lackeys to try to beat Nie Li to death? We all heard what you said." Shenyue stammers, I did say that, but I didn't really mean." Xiaoninger and Ye Ziyun look at him in disgust, while people in the crowd murmur, "It's true, he's really gone too far." Just then, someone calls out, "Vice Principal Ye Sheng is here." Shenyue spits angrily, cursing under his breath, "Detestable." Realizing he's outnumbered, Shenyue says, "Let's go," and gives Nie Li a threatening look. "Nie Li, I'll admit my loss today, but you just wait and see." After he leaves, Xiaoninger reaches out, pulling Nie Li's hand gently. "Nie Li, are you all right?" Nie Li nods. Nie Li reassures them, "It's just a small injury, nothing serious. Luckily, you all arrived just in time." Ye Ziyun smiles. "Hey, it's good that nothing happened." Some students watching murmur among themselves, "Wait, so he just got beaten up, but now he's getting the concern of the 2 goddesses? Maybe getting beat up wouldn't be so bad after all." Another student grumbles, "To think he got the attention of both goddesses in one moment? He should have been beaten even harder." Another student comments, Nie Li's actually kind of handsome if you look closely. No wonder Goddess Ninger and Goddess Ziyun admire him. Xiao Ninger steps forward, saying softly, Nie Li, I'll help you to the classroom. I prepared breakfast for you. Nie Li, taken aback, thinks to himself, I haven't been to class for so long. Could she be preparing breakfast for me every day? Just then, Ye Ziyun looks a bit hesitant, then says, since the matter is resolved, I should be going now. Elsewhere, Shen Fei from the sacred family clenches his fists, muttering to himself with fury, he dares to openly oppose our sacred family and even seduce my woman? Nie Li, you must be tired of living. As the days quickly pass, the countdown to the exploration trip has begun. With only 2 days left, Nie Li heads back to the library after returning the money to Xiao Ninger. Each night, he continues his training. He takes either a soul-assembling pill or a spiritual enhancing pill, then soaks in baths filled with purple haze herbs to nourish his soul force. This routine helps him prepare for the demon spirit power he expects to encounter in the future. Meanwhile, he also trains his physical strength. The 2 days pass in the blink of an eye. The day of departure arrives. Dawn sets in, marking the beginning of their journey. Chen Linjian organizes the group, making sure provisions, weapons, and tents are ready. He calls out, Young Master Chen, set out! The Divine Family team consisting of 28 people are prepared for the journey. On the other side, the Sacred Family, led by Shen Yue, also prepares. Shen Yue sneers, Haha, you've come here to seek your own death. Can't blame anyone but yourself. If bronze rank can't deal with you, I'll have the family send stronger people. He whispers to his subordinates, grinning darkly. Nie Li thinks to himself, Heh, I wonder what kind of tricks this guy is cooking up. The Snowwind family joins the expedition, and Ye Ziyun greets Nie Li. Hi, Nie Li, you're joining as well? Nie Li responds confidently, yes. In his mind, he thinks, looks like she's no longer angry. This beating wasn't in vain. Chen Linjian reminds everyone, we've told others that this expedition is for training in the mountain valley. Keep a low profile, everyone. The group's preparations continue, and Chen Linjian calls out, everyone, I've told you all to keep a low profile. The camp is buzzing with chatter and some arguing. Ye Ziyun turns to Nie Li and asks, Nie Li, do you know Chen Linjian? Nie Li answers, I don't really know him, but we happened to chat a few days ago in the library. Ye Ziyun comments, then he's willing to let you join? I've known Chen Linjian since I was young. He's very arrogant and conceited. Nie Li laughs. Heh heh, maybe he thinks I'm handsome. Ye Ziyun chuckles. Ha ha, heh heh. Meanwhile, Shen Yue, overhearing their conversation, mutters to himself, Ye Ziyun, all she needs to do is smile at me. Nie Li, wait till we reach the outskirts. Don't even think about returning. The group sets off towards their destination, ready to begin the exploration. As the day starts to end and the sky darkens, Chen Linjian calls for a halt. It's getting dark soon. Let's set up camp here. Nie Li looks around, considering their surroundings. This place is not bad. As the group sets up camp, Shen Yu approaches Ye Ziyun, suggesting, Ziyun, let's set up camp together. This way, I can protect you. But Ye Ziyun firmly replies, not needed. I can set up camp with my senior sister. Nie Li, overhearing, mutters, insects, 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 as he finds the environment less than pleasant. After 2 months, the test will finally be over, and everyone will have a break to return home. As Nie Li reflects on the past, he wonders what his family was doing when he was just 13 years old. His mind drifts back to the memories of his parents, uncles, and siblings. Sitting up in the quiet of his thoughts, Nie Li contemplates, before that day arrives, I must achieve Black Gold rank or even the legendary rank. Only then can I protect Glory City. The pressure of time weighs on him, knowing how crucial his growth is for the future. Determined to make the most of his time, Nie Li focuses on his training. He needs to practice quickly and according to plan. He's already been working on the Heavenly God technique for some time. His soul realm, once misty, is now gradually taking shape into a spherical form. But inside, there's something hidden at the center of his soul realm. He's felt this before, an unfamiliar sensation that he never had in his past life. Despite his progress, he realizes that he's still not able to fully explore the depths of his soul realm. Back at the Winged Dragon family, Nie Li leaves a letter explaining that he's gone adventuring, but a servant approaches. Miss, the master has asked for your presence in the main hall for a discussion. Ye wonders to herself, why is father calling me at such a late hour? Did something happen? She walks into the main hall and asks, Father, you need me for something? Her father looks serious as he says, I've called you here because there's something important I need to ask you. As Ye listens, she starts to understand the situation. After father became the family head, the three uncles have not been on good terms with him. Looks like this matter involves them. Elder Xiao Yi, from the winged dragon family, addresses her. I heard that you spent a huge amount of money to acquire the purple haze herbs. The price of the herbs has skyrocketed, and now, with so many demon spirit coins, our family's comeback wouldn't be long. You've made such a huge contribution to the family, Ninger. Truly, you're the lucky star of our winged dragon family. Ye thoughts race as she connects the dots. So that's how it is. Elder Xiao Yi knows about my acquisition of the purple haze herb. He's come to pressure father, planning to take a portion or even all of the purple haze herb for himself. Father must be in a tight spot right now. She calmly replies, Elder Xiao Yi, you may have misunderstood. These purple haze herbs were bought using my own money on behalf of someone else. She stands firm. This is my personal matter. No matter how much purple haze herb I bought, or for what purpose, it doesn't concern the family. Another elder chimes in, Ninger, you should understand, the family is in a difficult situation. If you can hand over a portion of the purple haze herbs, it would be beneficial for both you and the family. The elder tries to appeal to Xiao Ninger, saying, Niece Ninger, you've always been sensible. I hope that you can consider the bigger picture and contribute to the family's revival. But Xiao Ninger stands firm, replying, Elder Xiao Yi, I used my own money to buy those purple haze herbs. This matter doesn't concern the family, does it? Or are you saying that the herbs and armor you usually buy should also be submitted to the family? Elder Xiao Yi is visibly shocked. He thinks to himself, Xiao Ninger, when did you learn to talk back? Meanwhile, her father observes, thinking, Ninger seems somewhat different. Aloud, her father agrees. What Ninger says makes sense. I don't think this is a family member's obligation. But Elder Xiao Yi insists, this isn't just any ordinary matter. A few £100 of purple haze herbs can be sold for billions of demon spirit coins. This money could greatly alleviate our winged dragon family's crisis, and we wouldn't have to be controlled by the sacred family anymore. He adds, Ninger, if these purple haze herbs are contributed to the family, you won't have to marry Shen Fei. Elder Xiao Yi, thinking privately, adds, con her into handing over the purple haze herbs first. Her marriage issue will still depend on the sacred family. Another elder chimes in, I agree with Elder Xiao Yi's thinking. These purple haze herbs can benefit the whole family. Several others agree, nodding and voicing their support for Elder Xiao Yi's suggestion. Her father sighs and says, Ninger. Frustrated, Ninger thinks, why? Why must I be sacrificed every time the family experiences difficulties? She speaks up. Those purple haze herbs were bought on behalf of a friend, and I already gave everything to him before the prices skyrocketed. Her father, taken aback, asks, Ninger, is this true? She replies, Yes, father. I no longer have any purple haze herbs on hand. Elder Xiao Yi, suspicious, presses her further. Ninger, what is the name of your friend? What's his background? Xiao Ninger responds firmly, Elder Xiao Yi, please understand, there's nothing more to say about his information. Annoyed, Elder Xiao Yi mutters, Is that so? I hope this isn't just an excuse between this father and daughter. If he's truly your friend, why can't you go back and ask for the purple haze herbs? Xiao Ninger challenges him. What does Elder mean by that? He was the one who asked me to buy those herbs. If I were to ask him for them back, wouldn't that make me someone who goes back on her word? But Elder Xiao Yi continues, This concerns the interests of the family. Her father tries to end the discussion. Xiao Yi, let this matter rest. Even if we were to ask him to return them, would he give them back? Elder Xiao Yi persists. There's no turning back in this matter. We must learn the background of this person. If he doesn't have a strong background, we might be able to persuade him to return the herbs. Xiao Ninger, shocked, retorts, What did you just say? Suddenly, a powerful aura fills the room. Xiao Ninger's father exclaims, "Why is there such a strong soul force?" Ninger,